Hi, welcome back welcome back. I'm Dorsey and Sarah. Welcome back
Hey.
to Certified Crybabies. Happy to have you back.
Yes. Um it was so surreal like hearing our voices, like when the first episode actually came out, like hearing it and like seeing people like Apollo and Jez tweet about it. I was like, "Oh my god, this is real." So
Yeah, exactly.
that was scary, but I feel like it's our second episode, so I feel a little less nervous. But
Yeah, I'm not stressed. It was just weird. It's like I'm not used to putting myself out there. So
oh, me
seeing
neither.
myself out there, I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow.
So last week I felt like I felt like my voice sounded weird because my audio was bad. So I went and I bought a new headset this week and I love it. The only thing is this past week I had a double ear infection and a sinus infection, and so I feel like my voice still sounds weird because I
I'm
was
sorry to
sick.
hear that.
Yeah, it's good though. How was your week, Dorsey?
Mine's is good. Work is chilled, but it's a little stressed because with school winding down, I have a lot of projects that are due now. But I'm excited for
Oh,
Thanksgiving break.
yes. Oh my god, it is going to feel so good to get a whole week off.
Yeah, I'm scared because I work in retail, but
Oh my god.
I could
Oh
use a
my
break.
god. Prayers for Dorsey this Black Friday.
Yeah, I hope so.
You
I'm
know
scared,
Apollo's
but I'm not
phrase that's
scared.
like, pray for your enemies? Screw them this week. All your prayers towards Dorsey.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, before we get into this, I did just want to give a quick disclaimer and a little reminder to you guys that this Certified Crybabies podcast is 18 plus only. There is always the possibility that we're going to talk about some sensitive topics, some not safe for work things, just things that involve adult activities, whatever that may mean to you. So we do ask that our listeners stay strictly 18 plus.
Yep, totally.
All right. So the first thing we kind of want to get into this week was the whole situation with Rico Nasty, right?
Yeah. So on November 10th, a semi-viral tweet came out, and it was a video of people at Playboy Cardi's concert. They were booing Rico Nasty because Rico Nasty was the opener for his concert, and they were booing him. And it seemed to become a lot more serious because on November 14th, a video came out with someone threw a bottle at Rico Nasty, and she ended up jumping into the crowd. So it's just kind of like it's weird how because Rico Nasty
Yeah.
is, even though she's like a woman, she is well respected, but it kind of brings into the question like, are women not still respected in the rappers like space?
Right.
And it's kind of like weird.
And that really is so concerning because, when you buy tickets, you pay your hard earned money to go see someone. Why would you go see someone who you think badly of? Like, why did
Yeah,
you pay
exactly.
money to come and harass her, basically?
Yeah, like it's pretty normal for concerts to have an opener before the actual person comes out.
Yeah.
And most people, they just skip the opener until the actual person comes out. This could have easily happened, but no, people stayed to agitate her for some
Yeah.
reason. And it got worse, w- like in Portland, where she got a bottle thrown at her. And that's very serious.
Yeah, that is crazy. Like, someone could have genuinely gotten hurt because of that. So
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
a really scary thing to think about. And I feel like it might also kind of bring into the question, um, I'm not sure what sexuality Rico identifies with, but I know that her style is more, she's got the short hair and she kind of does the androgynous thing. And
Yeah.
so, like, are women accepted, but also are queer women accepted? I don't know. This is just me speculating because I don't know about the situation all that much, but
No,
I don't know.
you're absolutely right. When it comes to people, well, I'll say black people because Rico and Will Nas X is black. When it comes to like black people who are queer or of the LGBTQ community, they don't get respected as much as a cis black man would,
Right.
because the cis black man has been like the face of hip hop and rap for so, that even though there have been big faces when it comes to women, for some reason they still like are struggling to get the same amount of respect as a cis black man would. And
Yeah.
it's like weird.
That is insane. And she is such a talented artist too.
Oh yeah, 100%. She makes music for alt black people. That's what she tries to do, and her style and appearance is alt, which is not something that you see in relation to black people a lot. So it does kind of suck to see her get shot down like this. Like when it comes to black women, if
Right.
they are not feminine, they're usually not seen as feminine. So when a black woman like goes away from that thought process, it's a lot harder for her to be like accepted. And Rico Nasty did have a series of tweets about it, and she pretty much just it's pretty inappropriate for me to say, obviously. So I'm gonna like say that she pretty much just talked bad about the crowd. And people were saying that since Cardi's fans tend to be white, that it could potentially be also anti-black as well.
I feel like that is completely valid.
I don't listen to him, so I don't listen to him like that. So I genuinely don't know what his fan base is, but from what I've seen on Twitter of people talking about it, it does seem to be true that he has a lot of white male fans. And from the video, a lot of them were white, but I'm pretty sure there were like black fans in the audience. So it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. With this, and along with the old Travis Scott situation, it's like concerts after the pandemic. I don't know. Like, will it? Do you think it'll ever get back to normal? Basically, that's what I'm asking.
I I really don't know. I myself have not been to that many concerts. I went to like an emo band concert, like Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens. I went to one of those in when I was about 14, I think, like freshman year of high school.
Yeah,
And it was pretty crazy there too, like with the mosh pits and, stuff like that. It was a lot of like pushing and shoving and kind of violence, but without the intention to hurt people. Like
yeah,
if someone fell down, then you had like a a big alt looking grandpa or dad there, like a huge like muscle biker man to pick you up. So I don't know, but at the same time, in that demographic, I saw a lot of people comparing, um, the violence of like recent, rap and hip hop concerts to metal, and they were like, yeah, metal concerts would never do this, never do that, blah blah blah. But there was a lot that did happen in metal concerts that happened behind the scenes. Like I've seen um people used to like sew razor blades into their jacket sleeves and stuff and go to metal concerts. So I feel like for a while there it was kind of like a genre versus genre thing, but it really shouldn't be because there was violence at concerts pre-pandemic, but I just think it wasn't as widely seen or as widely, it probably didn't happen as often.
yeah, yeah. I saw the same thing too. That people were like talking about how if Travis Scott's concert adopted like mosh pit etiquette,
Hmm.
that this wouldn't have happened. And I mean, in my opinion, those are two completely different worlds.
Yeah.
It's really hard to compare because with moshing, it's a pretty old and already established thing. Even though Travis Scott is, I mean, I guess you could get the vibe of moshing from Travis Scott's concert, but still his concerts aren't known for that. So it's hard to like connect the two. So I think
Yeah.
people who did that were kind of like insensitive because it's not your place to like be like, oh, oh,
I
like
feel like at the end of the day, um, at least in that situation, that happened because it was a monetary, like, valuable thing where maybe they didn't want to spend the money on hiring better trained and more security guards, but they got all this money from ticket sales so they couldn't cancel type of thing.
yeah,
Like, you could have wasted the money to cancel it, or you could have spent more money to, have more security there. And either way, that would have, maybe even prevented this from happening, period. But they would have been out of money. So I feel like that is what it's coming down to, is more of a, and maybe it's not even Travis, it's just like his team. And I know like Apple Music was streaming it and everything, so I think maybe even like Apple might have had a say in whether or not he was quote unquote allowed to stop the concert. So it really could just be like a corporate thing, like all of his sponsors and everything were like, no, you can't. So at the end of
yeah.
the day, I feel like it's not going to get better until people put safety above money.
I agree 100%. I feel like all of this could have been avoided if money was not involved.
Exactly. And I hate that, we're such a society that's ran by money, but that's a topic for a whole different day because I could talk about that for like 4 hours straight.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it in the next podcast
Yeah.
because I could definitely talk about it too. I have some rants when it comes to this society.
Crybabies get political.
Yeah. On our third episode, it'll be like, yeah, that's it. We're done. We are talking about this now. You guys should be used to us by now.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, I guess I mean another thing in regards to the whole Rico Nasty situation. Apparently, this isn't the first time where Playboy Cardi has had issues with an opening act that he did not speak on about because people were saying, "Oh, he should have said something because well, for one, this happened more than once, which is bad, and two, these are his fans. They would listen to him, so they were like, he should have said something, but this isn't his first time not saying anything when something's happened to his concert, so I don't think he ever will say anything.
yeah,
Or I
probably
just,
not, to be honest.
yeah, I don't, which sucks.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like every artist kind of has like a culture surrounding them. And if he's not gonna like nip that in the bud immediately when it happens, then his fans are just gonna think like, oh, it's a gag, it's a bit, like we just disrespect his opener. That's what we do. And if he's not gonna stop that, then I just feel like it's likely to happen again.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with the whole water bottle situation. Like, since it happened like 4 days later, I feel like since they saw
Yeah,
that nothing came of the first one, they're like, oh, I'm gonna up the ante. And
yeah,
which led to like her getting pretty much assaulted, which sucks. But
yeah.
I don't know. From what I've heard, Cardi hasn't said anything else. So
I saw a TikTok like right after that concert, the one where she got the water bottle thrown at her, and she was just like with her manager sipping boba, just like the happiest person in the world because she had boba. And all the comments were like, hey, do you need to talk, like, are you okay? Like, I saw the water bottle video, are you okay? And so I'm glad that at least on TikTok and maybe other social platforms, she does have a fan base who supports her.
oh yeah, I love Rico on TikTok. She's
Yes,
adorable. She's very supportive of other female rappers. I love her to death.
I
So
love her too.
I feel
She,
incredibly bad because she's so sweet.
yeah. Well, are you ready to move on to our next topic?
Yep, I don't have anything else in regards to this situation anymore.
All right. So we Sorry, I got distracted. Um, Dorsey and I have been looking on Reddit, and we know that that's kind of like a popular segment for podcasts to do, but we kind of wanted to take it and do our own little spin on it, give our own advice. So we are looking into like, the am I the asshole type subreddits, dating advice, relationship advice. And if you guys have any more suggestions of subreddits that we can look through that you want to see us like talk about and react to, please leave them in the comments and we will get to them. We will look into them. But for today, I wanted to talk about the dating advice subreddit. And let's see.
I'm excited for this because I love, like, I would love to talk. I would love to have like a space where I could talk about Reddit stuff all
Oh,
day.
yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I just had one and then I refreshed it on accident.
It's okay.
I'm the worst. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I found it again. Okay. So this person, Reddit user, again, and I don't know if we're supposed to say this, but none of this is ours. Like all credit to everything from the original user, and I will always uh, say the user's username unless it says they're using a burner account or something and they don't want to be found. So this is from user Touchdown T. They say, had a date last night. It went really, really well. However, she believes that the earth is flat, unironically. She also believes the universe is geocentric and that the sun and the moon are the same size. Dating has been really terrible for me, so I know how hard it can be to find someone you get along with. So where do I go from here?
Well,
Wow.
oh jeez. Well, first things first. Like, I feel like they should say if whether or not they agree with them or not.
I feel like from making this post, they probably do not believe that the earth is flat. Because I feel like that's the issue. If they also believe that, I feel like there would be no issue with this.
Then I guess I kind of feel like it's kind of cut and dry. Like, oh, just I mean, I feel like if you're an open-minded person, go ahead. Why not go on a second date with them? Because
Yeah,
I guess nothing like red flagish has really happened.
right.
But and since they said that dating has been hard for them, I guess they're just seeking more advice to like comfort, well, not comfort, but talk to this person more. So maybe.
Maybe. I don't believe I could ever date someone who unironically believed that the earth is flat. Like, I get a lot of conspiracy theories. I do. Like, I will read into them. But the flat earth one, it really, it really just does not make sense to me because I feel like there's all this evidence against it. Like, I've been in airplanes and like seen the curve of the earth. So I,
Yeah,
I, I just don't, because I'm so like positive that the earth is not flat. I just don't think I could be with someone who is so positive that the earth is flat.
I don't think so either. But but a lot of people are pretty open-minded. So, and
That's
it sounds
true.
like this person is. So
That's
I don't
true.
know. Go ahead. I wouldn't,
You do
cause
you.
yeah, cause
There's
I
no
don't
harm in
know.
seeing where it goes.
Yeah, cause I mean I don't believe it, so I wouldn't waste my time with it.
Right.
But they seem to be curious about it. They don't seem to like insult this person. So I don't know. If you're open minded, I say go for it.
Okay. So I have another one from A Press Sky 23, and it says, "How do I seduce him while watching Netflix? I, female 26, have invited a nice young man, also 26, over to watch a movie this evening. Yes, I am attempting to hit that. Here's the thing, we're both awkward AF. During previous dates, he has seemed very, very nervous. Touch barrier has not been really broken yet. I mostly accepted that if I want anything to happen, I need to make it happen because he seems both too shy and a little oblivious. I don't have that much, in parentheses, zero, experience. Inviting him over for a movie felt really forward and direct to me, but I'm not sure if it's enough. I'm very concerned that we'll just sit on my couch and watch a movie with enough space for Jesus between us and politely before politely bidding each other adieu. However, I'm very self-conscious about getting in people's personal space, and I've also have this irrational nagging doubt that he has missed the signal and is just coming over as a friend. How do I initiate the chill portion of Netflix and chill? How can I escalate without accidentally creeping him out? Please help.
So so we're pretty much just gonna lay down like the move set to like go in.
I don't know because I feel like in society it is kind of normal in heterosexual relationships for the man to make the first move. So as a woman, it I can see how it would feel awkward to feel like you were in the position to make the first move, you know?
Yeah, I'm not used to it though. I am usually the one to make a first move.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always felt like the man making a first move was kind of dumb. Like if I see
Yeah.
someone and I'm attracted to them, I will I'll go up to them. I don't care.
Good. I feel like I normally don't make the first move, not because I feel like, the man should do it, because I make other women make the first move too. I just feel like I as a person am kind of shy and I have a fear of rejection, so I don't want to like accidentally, make a move and then be like, "Oh, I'm not interested." And then I would think about that for the rest of my life, you know?
I I feel you on that. I used to be like that. I don't know. I don't even know how I got over that whole obstacle. I just was like, I want to talk to this person. Let me see how it goes, and it's worked out okay. So
Yeah. So,
yeah,
what advice would you give to this girl who has not even really touched him yet? Like what is the first cuz I mean you can't just give him a handshake. Like that's kind of weird. Do you just like go
yeah.
in for a hug maybe and kind of see where that goes?
I'm okay. So if I was in the situation, what I would do would be, um, I'm gonna assume that the hug would probably already happen, like as soon as he was like walking into the door.
Yeah.
I I guess I would, as soon as they got to the couch, I guess that's where I would probably start. I wouldn't like cuddle up to him or anything. I would just sit close,
Yeah.
and there could be like, yeah, there could be a start like a little space for Jesus type thing. But I'm the type to move around a lot when I'm sitting, regardless of like whoever's there. So I feel like you could use that as an excuse to like move a little closer and like
Oh
see what
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, just like adjust the way you're sitting, but like inch a little closer and eventually maybe like your knees are touching.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like for both of them, it would be best to take it really, really slow.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't start with like the touching of the knee type thing. I would probably start with the touching of the shoulders. to be to be
Yeah.
more specific,
I
yeah, I
mean,
would
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
that would
the
work too.
shoulders because like a knee can be pretty intimate. So yeah, touching on the shoulders is friendly and kind of comforting, to be honest. So I would probably like do that and then try to divulge it into cuddling and nuzzling type of thing.
I just find it kind of funny that she said like the touch barrier hasn't been broken yet and she's seen him a few times, but then tonight she wants to hit it. In her words, she wants to hit that.
Oh yeah, you're right. You mentioned that they haven't even touched yet. Oh, so I can't even assume that they would like. Yeah, I feel like before she wants to hit it, I feel like a formal hug absolutely should happen. like a formal friendly hug should happen before you hit it.
Yeah. Well, she did post an update, and all it says is update and then that smirk emoji. So, by some way, it seems like she did manage to hit that night. I don't know.
Good for
That's what I'm taking
her.
from it, at least.
As she should. Oh my
She
god.
should.
I'd love to read like what were the comments saying? Like did she respond to any?
I don't think so. She just updated, like, like edited the original post. But most of the comments were just saying things, pretty similar to what we were saying, like, kind of scoot close or give him a hug or something.
Seems like she didn't need that much help though. Okay. I see
Right?
you. She just smirked. I like it. She didn't even say, I did it. She just smirked. I mean, she got it
That was
good.
the
I'm proud
whole
of her.
update.
Good for her. She did good. No advice needed. She's gonna do great for sure.
Okay. I think we should do one more.
Yay.
Okay.
I'm excited.
This one says, I started talking to this girl who I really clicked with and liked 2 days ago, and she already sent me unsolicited nudes. And I get it, quote, we shouldn't judge, but the fact that after hardly any effort, and she told me that she wanted something serious, but then sent me nudes just like that threw me off. She's attractive, and we met on Tinder, and she probably met other dudes there that she liked. And the fact that she sent them just like that made me think that I'm definitely not the only one. She doesn't owe me exclusivity, but I struggle to take it serious with anyone who sends me nudes out of the blue without even meeting within 2 days of talking and flirting. I too talk and have talked with many women on Tinder, and I don't do that. I generally don't send nudes, but when I did, it was with the people I trusted and still hiding my face. She sent them to me with face and all. I lost interest, and if I'm honest, I'm not against sex early on, but if the click and tension is there, but if there was no time to build tension and she just did it off the blue, what are your thoughts?
Well, first things first, I feel like sending nudes to strangers out of the blue is
Oh,
horrible.
yeah.
Do not do that unless you have established, like, unless you've like had at least a sexual conversation
Right.
first. Don't do that. That's evasive and kind of assault.
Yeah, and I feel like if the roles were reversed and it was a guy who did that to a girl, everyone would immediately be furious and be like, block him, send him to the police. But I feel like it's not really looked down upon as much as it should be for a woman to send unsolicited nudes. But I mean, it definitely should be looked down upon just as much.
Oh yeah, definitely. We could have like a whole entire episode about how different
Oh,
assault is
yeah.
treated when it comes to women, men, or no, sorry, let me rephrase that. When it comes to people who are feminine, whereas people who appear as masculine, we could
Right.
have like a whole entire discussion about that.
Yeah. And he even says, like, in the last paragraph, I lost interest if I'm honest. So I feel like, I don't know, like, that's kind of it then. If this means you lose interest, which, I mean, you have the right to lose interest over that. But,
Yeah, I kind of agree with him. If I got sent like random nudes to someone I've barely talked to, I would see that as a huge red flag and would lose interest immediately.
oh, yeah, definitely. I typically would wait until either someone asked and, I felt comfortable, or sometimes I would offer. But I don't know. I've never really sent something like that completely out of the blue unless there was already like established, we've done this before and we kind of do this on the regular type of thing. Other than that, you always need to like, hey, kind of thinking about sending something. You want to see?
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like when it comes to nudes, it works similar to, the deed. You
Oh
have
yeah.
to get consent. before you something or send something like that. Consent is very important because it can make the person very uncomfortable if you do not get consent.
Yeah. And just speaking for myself personally, I have gotten many unsolicited pictures, and that shit is immediately like, okay, this is the type of person they are. This is where their morals align, where they think this is okay. Instant no for me.
Yeah, I agree. I've gotten some pretty nasty things sent to my DMs, and it's like, oh wow, this is horrible. It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, literally. I remember one time I was in 8th grade and I got like this random DM on Kick and I opened it in front of like my entire math study group and you already know what it was. And they like all yelled out. They were like, "Oh, gross." And the teacher came over and I had to hide my phone real quick and we just all had to sit there and be traumatized together. And I felt bad that I exposed them to that, but I also
Oh
hated
my
that I was
god.
exposed to it.
Yeah. Oh god. Ooh. Kick was a weird time. It was
we
just a weird time all around.
we could talk a lot about Kick and Omegle. And
Yeah.
iFunny for me too. iFunny was like where I met the people that I would then kick with, and that
I
wasn't a good place to meet people.
I didn't really do Omegle. I just did Kick, and boy howdy,
Boy,
were
howdy.
those people weird.
Right? Oh my gosh, there's so many memories. Honestly, I kind of want to re-download Kick one day just to like see all my old messages. But then again, I kind of don't want to re-traumatize myself.
I thought with Kick that once you like uninstall it, that the whole messages get deleted.
Oh, does it? Dang.
Yeah, I think so.
That
Cause
might be
like
a
I think
flop of an idea then.
I re-downloaded it like not too long ago, thinking that I'd be able to do it, and nope, I saw nothing.
Dang. Oh well. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this segment of Sarah and Dorsey look through Reddit stuff. So again, comment something down below if you know of like another interesting subreddit that you want us to talk about. Let us know and we'll definitely find something on there.
It would be really cool if one day we could like have people like submit stories too. That'd be kind of
Oh my
cool.
god, that'd be so cool. Yeah, if people want to submit anonymous stories, we'll set up something like that in the future.
Yeah, let us know if you're interested in the comments because that
Yeah,
does
yes.
sound it sounds interesting.
Let us know what you want to hear. We are a podcast for the people.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do we got next?
So next thing on the agenda is Will Smith and Jada Smith, and it's probably something that you've already heard about
Yeah.
so much, but we're gonna talk about it now. So, because interesting, because there has been a recent development, but it wasn't as talked about as much. So I feel like giving some more context to it would be interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. This whole entire thing started with Jada Smith has a show called Red Table Talk with her mother and her daughter Willow. Um, and pretty much on the Red Table Talk, it was just her and her husband Will, and they talked about pretty much there a time where they were separated, and she got in an entanglement
An
with
entanglement.
a singer called August. And so people ever since then people were like talking about and making jokes about Jada, saying that, oh, Will Smith needs to get out of there and stuff like that. But I think Will established during that time that he was also like dating with other people. It didn't get as out of hand as it did with Jada, because
Mm,
it kind of did with August. He wasn't afraid to shy away and like talk about how he loved Jada. So when it came to Will's life was made more private, whereas Jada's was not. So Jada got most of the clowning, whereas Will got most of the sympathy, which I understand that. But that happened, and a bunch of memes and jokes were made about it, and it was funny. But that's where most people thought that would be the end of it. But no, we keep on hearing new things that this family wants us to know.
Oh my.
And one of them was she was on the Red Table Talk again with a guest star Gwyneth Paltrow.
Mm.
She's an actress who was in Iron Man and stuff, and she also like does cooking, and she's known for being gluten free or vegan, I believe. She's well known for her cooking as well as her acting. And a
Okay.
bunch of jokes came out with about Jada, and it was about how she talked about her sex life with Will. But let me pull up the article real quick. Pretty much, she was talking about how she said, "It's hard. The thing Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. We started this at a very young age, 22 years old. That's why the accountability part really hit for me because I think you expect your partner to know what you need, especially when it comes to sex. It's like, well, if you love me, you should know. If you love me, you should read my mind. And that's a huge pitfall." And Miss Paltrow responded saying, "Isn't it weird though? It's like if someone doesn't read your mind, we feel crushed." And Jada said, "Yeah, crushed." And I feel like during this time, since she has gotten the brunt of the joke, a lot of her words get taken out of context, and I think this was one of them. People made jokes about how she does not enjoy sex with her husband when that's not what she said
Right.
at
Yeah.
all. And what I found interesting about the comments that she made was that she is right. Um, well, I'm relatively young. I'm 21 years old, so I
Right.
obviously don't know that much. But when I have heard my parents teach me the birds and the bees, they do not talk about how you need to have a conversation with your partner about what you like. And I see that on social media too. Like people are doing it with people and it's not enjoyable for them. And I realize that
Right.
maybe it's because they don't have like a talk with the person of what they like and what their other partner likes. And so it's just not enjoyable for both parties because no one wants to have the conversation. But when it comes to like being in a relationship, you feel like, oh, you're my partner. You should already know just because you're with me. But no, even though you're in a relationship, you should still have the conversation of what
Yeah.
you and your partner likes.
And
So
the
I was just
thing
interested
is,
in hearing your thoughts.
yeah, and that is how it's portrayed in like movies and stuff too. Like in movies, there's no conversation, there's just this moment of passion and then clothes flinging around and then both of them fall back on the bed. And it,
Yeah,
it doesn't show like a conversation. It doesn't show like hey, this feels good. Can you try this? And this doesn't feel so good. So maybe let's try something else. When every person really is so different that you do have to have those conversations with your partner about what feels good and what doesn't. And even like, in like books and stuff, like I've read like so many young adult novels, like John Green and stuff. And not to, talk shit about John Green or anything, but in all the books, sex just kind of happens. Like there's no conversation, there's no, you know, constructive criticism, there's no not even like any little mistakes, it's all just like this perfect moment of passion, and that's just not how it happens in real life. It's also, in porn especially, it's that definitely doesn't happen. The conversation, absolutely not. They don't they
yeah,
don't have conversation about anything important.
yeah. And
So
it's kind of funny because I feel like even though it gets joked about a lot, I actually kind of feel like 50 Shades is a pretty good example. Oh, not a good example. It's an example of having a conversation where two parties pretty much talk about what they can and cannot do
Yeah, I
to
mean,
each other.
they literally have like a whole meeting and contract about like these are things that you absolutely cannot do. And these are things that I would be open to trying and these are things that interest me, you know? Like they literally had like a contract for it, you know? So they took having a conversation to the extreme, but I mean they had the conversation. Most of the book actually I think like at least like half the book I think was them just talking about it, you know? Like him saying like, "Oh, you wouldn't like what I like." And she's like, "No, let's talk about it." And they go back and forth, you know? There's very they don't actually do anything until really, close to the end, you know?
Yeah, they have like safe words and they try things out and they, even though
Yeah.
it might not be the most healthiest like relationship, they say out loud like, "Oh, hey, this doesn't work for me. This works for me." And it's clear cut and it's out there and it's straightforward. That's the first movie that I've ever seen that actually does that.
Yeah, honestly, probably me too.
Yeah, because like you said in the movies, they pretty much, it's just passion and then everyone does everything right and then everyone is happy. They both get off.
You're
and
right.
like and it's even worse when it comes to like the first time because that's not how that goes in real
No,
life.
it's really not.
Your
Not at
first time
all.
is not perfect at all, so it's like so weird. But yeah, I feel like Jada brought up an interesting conversation that honestly should be a conversation.
Yeah, it definitely should be much more of a conversation.
I've heard people talk about it like on Twitter, but obviously Twitter isn't real life, so like you can't really say much about that. But I I do feel like this should be a bigger thing because honestly, it's just very interesting. If you talk to your partner and establish what you like and what you don't like, and if you're feeling pain, it's just better for the both of you because you can come to a mutual agreement and understanding of what feels good and what doesn't.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, I've been in a relationship for like a year and a half now, so I haven't been in the dating scene in a while. But about like 2 years ago ish, when I was more in the dating scene and on Tinder and Hinge and apps like that, and was meeting people, it definitely there was almost never a conversation. Like if you hit it off with someone, they were like, "Okay, cool." And they would, maybe take you out once and then they were immediately like, "Anyway, let me get in your pants." And you have to like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, slow down." Like,
Yeah,
not that I like got to that point with a ton of people, but even like the people who I stayed with like a quarantine distance online type of talking thing with, they definitely I felt like had no interest in having a conversation about anything sexual and more of an interest of like let's just do it, you know?
yeah, and it's just kind of like it's kind of interesting because sadly, not sadly, I mean that as a joke, but you have to, even though you feel good from it, you do, it's a two-person thing. You do have to think about the other person.
Sometimes
And
it's more than a two-person thing.
sometimes, sometimes you're right. But I feel like when it's more than a two-person thing, I feel like it's more normal to actually talk about it though, right?
Yeah, you're right. Because they're like there's more boundaries there. I feel like there's more things that like maybe this is off limits and this is off limits, whereas two people normally don't really have a whole lot of limits with each other.
Yeah, it's interesting because like people tend to think that polyamorous relationships are like weird and all because it's more than three people. But I mean, it can sometimes be a lot healthier because they set boundaries and they have like clear cut rules.
Yeah,
Yeah. Whereas like when it's just when it's between two people, that's usually just it. It's like, oh, you're my person, you're my person. You should already know what I like because you're with me. I feel like there's
yeah,
no need for a conversation because it's the two of us.
Yeah, polyamorous people, I feel like at least the ones who are successful with it definitely seem to have better communication skills on average than monogamous couples.
Yeah, and they do tend to talk about how important communication is in a relationship, but I guess most people tend to forget about that when it comes to the deed.
Yeah, a lot of people do, unfortunately, and I really am glad that Jada brought that up and is kind of bringing that more to light and, normalizing it. I know everyone hates the word normalize, but it does need to be normalized to have conversations about, you know, what satisfies you and what would better satisfy you.
Yeah, it's much better for both parties once you both know like, oh, this feels good. This does not.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I mean, another thing that happened was that he talked about how he was jealous of Tupac, but I didn't really know what to say to that because Tupac is not alive anymore, and that is just sad. Kind of brings up a whole new conversation.
Like he was jealous of Tupac and Jada?
Yeah, because Tupac and Jada had a thing when they were younger, and they seem to be very much in love. I think even to this day, she's still probably in love with him. But I mean, it's hard for me to talk about a relationship where you've had one party like lose someone that they really loved and then
Yeah,
they move on. It's kind of hard to talk about those relationships because, like, yeah, you have every right to feel jealous, but it's also kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to move on from something like that because I've never experienced it.
right. Cuz
So I can't tell her to move on.
it's so different from a breakup because when you lose someone in a breakup, you fall out of love. But when someone passes away, then you never really have the chance to fall out of love and get that closure and move on.
Yeah. I feel bad for him. I do. But I also feel bad for her because I can't imagine like loving someone so much and then just having them pass away so
Right.
suddenly. It probably was hard for her. But I also have no doubt in my mind that they definitely love each other because I think they've put in the work to at least
Yeah,
try
they
to
have
save their
definitely put in
marriage.
the work. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. People are saying that they should get a divorce, and I'm not so quick to say that because, like I said, they're putting in a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah. I know that a lot of things like that can be seen as a deal breaker with some couples, but if they're willing to like put in the work and have that open communication and be able to move past that, then honestly more power to them. Like they if you're able to communicate through something like that, then you're obviously a stronger couple than, you know, a lot of what we see nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. And I
If you can
mean,
work through that, you can work through anything.
yeah, I agree. And since they put it out there, I mean, maybe they just want to like let other people know that I mean, it's normal, but it's something you got to get through and they seem to be getting through it. So,
Yeah. Most people tend to keep stuff like that like private, but if they, are sharing so that people know that it's okay and they're not like a perfect couple who does have problems that happen behind closed doors, then, good for them.
yeah, I genuinely respect them both a lot.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't I can't fault one over the other, especially when they don't blame each other like at all. I can't really talk
Right.
about the relationship when they don't blame each other. So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, because everyone's judging them, but it's like they are not angry at each other. I feel like we have no room to judge them at all.
Yeah. And Apollo has been reading, or I think he's actually finished Will Smith's book, and he was like super, super into it. Like he said it was like the best book he's ever read. So I might have to read it, and maybe that'll teach me a little bit more about, you know, what they've been going through. I don't even know if that's what the book's about, to be honest, but I'm sure it'll talk about his life some, and maybe that'll give me a little bit more insight.
Yeah,
But
he's had a sad life.
yeah, I've heard like bits and pieces here and there, but if Apollo's that passionate about the book, then I feel like it's got to be something worth reading. So I'm definitely gonna look into that and hopefully update you guys next time, maybe.
Yeah.
And this podcast should be going out on November the 21st. Dorsey and I are both fairly busy people. We're both in college and also both working. So our schedule is the 7th and the 21st of every month. So next time we will see you guys, it will be December 7th. So don't forget to leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear, especially some subreddits that you guys are interested in, and I don't know, just other topics in general that you want to hear us talk about. Do you have anything, Dorsey?
Um, no, not really. Yeah, no, not really. This is our second time doing this. I feel a lot more comfortable now. How
Yeah,
do you
me
feel?
too. Well, I had fun today.
Yeah, same here. I can't wait for December because who knows? Maybe we could do like a Christmas themed
Yes.
episode.
Oh my God. I was literally just thinking that. Okay. Well, we will catch you guys next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and remember to communicate with your partners. All right.
Yes.
See y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.